Shalom. Let me get straight into this lesson. This is the beloved elder, Madazak did a beautiful lesson going into this guy, Judge Joe Clown, Judge Joe Brown. So you seeing an uptick of, the word is getting out, So you see an uptick of all these different genres of bug outs. And Judge Joe Brown, right, is one of these people that's considered wise according to the world standard. But really he's a fool. And he don't know he's a fool. Because he's been indoctrinated and educated under this system. So you know, he's been brainwashed, and that's what he pushed unknowingly. And like I said, somebody like him is well respected in this world because they deem that Judge Joe Brown to have wisdom, but he don't have wisdom of the spirit. So he's out of his mind. And you're gonna see this. I'm gonna play this video, get into some precepts, and let's get into it.
Joe Brown. Maybe I'll tell you a whole lot of stuff you never knew. Watch the whole interview here on INeverKnewTV.com Premium. You made some comments about black Hebrews, right? Could you delve deeper into that?
Check this out. I'm gonna be interjecting. So this term black, this is what you gotta understand. If you're waking up, even if you've been in the truth, that term black is a very hateful term that they call you, and they insult you to your face, and you insult yourself when you call yourself that. Black is associated with some evil, negative, death, sin, wickedness. As I went into the original definition of what it means, that's the reason why they did that. So anybody using that term black that's supposed to be so-called educated, they don't know shit, right? As this term white is a new concept as well. There's no ethnicity in the Bible known as white people. Now, what has happened is people have been indoctrinated within this system, and this all they know is what they've been taught. And they go to show you it's a powerful method of brainwashing. When you keep calling somebody something for so long, they're gonna repeat it and make it a normality for them. Let's get more into this. So this ninja all irritated.
Please. Look, one of the primary staples of propaganda is to get people to misidentify and identify with mythological entities.
See, he just vomited on his own garment. Exactly. So like when that apply to being so-called black people, you got to come see these older Jakes. They don't like the correction coming from the younger, Jakes of our nation. They don't like that because they old, stubborn, and set in their ways. But it's a new day. It's a new sheriff in town, so to speak, right? We not bound by that crazy shit no more. We've been freed from that with the truth. Let's get more into this.
And I have nothing against Jews. Hell, one of my agents was a Jew. He was an interesting guy. He was part Puerto Rican and part Chinese and got adopted by...
See, that's confusion. So if he was so educated, he would know, going into the etymology of words, the word Puerto Rico, right, means port, like a shipping port, like you send goods and goods through a port. That's what it means. Porto. Rico means rich. So when you put the term together, it means rich port. So that's folly if somebody calling themselves that. But he don't know that though. But he's supposed to be well educated and intelligent according to the world standards. Let's keep going.
A Jewish family. All right. He called himself a mutt. But black folk running around trying to claim they're the original Jews, it's like, why are you doing that? And what is your purpose?
Our purpose is, this is prophecy, but he don't know that because he's been indoctrinated and educated under the world vibration. So prophecy said that the true Israelites will wake up in the land of their captivities. Also that they would go into slave ships, going to slavery in slave ships and be scattered through the whole four corners of the earth. Did you know that? But a lot of you old bottles, right, that the elder elder used that scripture. He's an old bottle. He's out of his mind. He's been indoctrinated under this system, under these philosophies. He haven't been exposed to this new song. And if he do get exposed to the new song, he gonna say, nah. We ain't doing it that way. We're gonna stay where we at. So basically he got an issue. Matter of fact, let me skip it up a little bit, then I'm gonna get into this lesson.
Ailment. He didn't even know his football team. Oakland Raiders, where exist. Technically, they're called Indo-Aryans, I-N-D-O hyphen Aryan. You see them all the time.
Go to
Kamala
confusion.
Harris was an Indo-Aryan. That's what most Hindu are, Aryans. They're from India. They did have something anciently to do with Germany, but they certainly weren't.
But again, he subscribed to pseudo-nationalities, pseudo-ethnicities. So let's keep going.
Blonde-haired, blue-eyed. They were dark-skinned, swarthy, dark-haired, dark-eyed. But they came up with a mythological thing so people could identify with them. They moved their origin from the Indus River Valley, which is going into Asia, to the far north in the land of snow and ice. Because psychologically what you're telling me is you're ashamed of what you really are, so you're trying to figure out something else you can identify with to escape the onus of being what you are. See,
and what is that? So okay, wow, it's heavy. So he's saying that we trying to identify with something because what we're gonna identify to black? That's complete madness. That's how you know you're a fool. Right? So let's get into this lesson. I can't stomach too much more of this shit. And like the saying going, there's a new sheriff in town. We ain't falling for that shit no more. That old, slave Christian talk shit. No. Them days over with. Proverbs 18:2. It says, fools have no interest in understanding. They only want to air their own opinions. So, of course, Judge Joe Brown, like all these other Jakes, been indoctrinated in the world. They think they know more than everybody else. You can't tell them shit. And they a fool, They don't know it. So let's go here. I had to go blow this scripture, blow some dust off this scripture. I haven't went to this scripture in a long time. Ecclesiastes 42:8. It says, be not ashamed to inform the unwise and foolish, and the extreme age that contended with those that are young. And this is layers to the scripture, but yes, we can correct the older elders, older of our elders, I'm just saying the old people in the world. We can correct them if we come in the spirit of truth, which we are. So he's going completely off. He's saying that we want to just be a part of something, want to attach ourselves to something. No, you don't know what's going on, right? And the people that's in the land of Israel claiming to be us are Edomites. He probably don't even know what Edomites are. So he's very unlearned. He's been educated under the wisdom of the world. It says, thus said thou be truly learned and approved all men living. So yeah, we know what we're saying. We might be considered to be insignificant in this world, but what we saying is the truth. And the Lord go to show you, he's not dealing with status. He's not dealing with what you got in this world. He picked the lowly to push the word. And that's a stumbling block to the people, because our people looking for something flashy. They're looking for the truth to come out of mega church. That'll never happen. It's going to be a small sanctuary. Colossians 2:8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Hamashiach. So he's using pseudo ethnicities. So he wants us to stay black people. That's his whole thing. So my whole thing, if we saying we the Hebrew Israelites, which we can prove this, even if you go into some folly, I'm just saying, if you want to even go into the folly world of DNA, right, we can prove this, right? Prophecy, that we be taken into captivity. Many other ways to prove this. So we're not just pulling this out of thin air. So you got to consider and study what we're saying. And once you study it, you'll see it is the truth. But he's not interested in that. because he's a fool that's been indoctrinated in this world. He's under the rudiments, the principles, the teachings of Esau Edom. He has had success in this world. So that's that scripture, I think it's in Ecclesiastes 2. It says when a rich man speaks, his talk is extolled to the heavens. When a poor man speaks, no one wants to hear. I'm just paraphrasing that scripture. All right, let's go here. So let's give him education. He wants us to be black people. We're not going to be black people. We're going to be our true ethnicity, which Hebrew Israelites. And if you want to go into the ancient Hebrew, Yah, Shah, Allah. It says, with successes of the American Civil Rights Movement, listen up to this. A new term, this is not ethnicity, this is a new term, was needed to break from the past and help shed reminders of legalized discrimination. In place of Negro, so he wants us to be black people. We're not going to do that, Ninja. In the place of Negro, so they was calling us Negro, then colored, this folly. Anybody that got half a brain can understand that's not real. That's fake stuff. It says activists promoted the use of black as standing for a racial pride, militancy, and power. So the Edomites, Amalekites created these movements to push that false black narrative. And all these jakes have been coddled. They have been brainwashed under that philosophy. And if you repeat a lie long enough, it becomes people's truth. Let me say that again. When you repeat a lie over and over, it becomes the people's truth. Well, we're not going for that shit. Them days over. Let's go to this word term, because again, the word black is a term that was created in the 60s. It says term. A word, which is black. It says or phrase used to describe a thing or to express a concept. A concept. This is not ethnicity, but a fool would not listen. Fool won't want to understand this. A fool gonna stay a fool. Fool gonna stay locked into his own folly of what he think is right. A wise man would consider, things. Let me just say it like that. A wise man is constantly learning, constantly listening, constantly researching, because he want to get to the bottom of the truth. A fool don't have no interest in that. They want to stay stuck in their way. So he's been educated on the Esau Edom system. Let's go here. And this is pretty much all you jakes, especially the college so-called educated jakes. They're a goddamn nut job. It's like pulling teeth, man. It says Proverbs 18:2. It says New Living Translation. It says fools have no. It's like I read that. Let's go to right here. And I think I'm gonna close it up. The King James Version. It says, be not conformed to the world, to this world. What world is this? The Esau Edom world, so-called white man world. The way he governed, the words he used, the way he run his system, the politics. Everything. Is found in Romans 12:2, which states, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You have to change the way you think. You have to get all the garbage that you've been taught in this system out of your mind, and you have to be reborn. You have to come under this truth. Everything that you've been taught, you got to throw it out. It's a lie. But a lot of you don't want to accept that because you stuck. It says, let's go right here. It says, be ye transformed by the renewing your mind. Instead of conforming, the verse encouraged a transformation through a renewed mind, which comes from seeking God's guidance and understanding his word. You jakes got a bad understanding of this, but that's why we've been raised up to teach. Right? Hopefully this lesson been edifying. Call Allah Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua Bahashim Rachat Kodesh. Shalom.